Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Joy News today. Coming up this afternoon, rapid gunfire in the middle of a busy road. Ablekuma residents say they have been left traumatized after an attack on a cash-in-transit vehicle resulted in the death of a policeman. Also this afternoon, the Association of Ghana Industries is against the removal of taxes on imported sanitary pads, but activists want taxes off whether imported or locally made. Meanwhile, Speaker of Parliament is demanding an immediate removal of taxes on sanitary pad. We are coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlene. We're on DTT because we're free to on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 125. Joy News is your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Please stay for details.
Why should we pass a law imposing tax on sanitary pads? This is unconscionable.
Well, residents of Ablekuma in Accra say they have been left traumatized after they witnessed the killing of a policeman escorting a cash-in-transit vehicle. They say the successive gunfire by one of the armed robbers in the middle of the busy road has left them terrified for life. My colleague Maxwell Agbagba visited the area this morning. He joins us live with updates. Hello, Maxwell. What's the latest on this case?
Aisha, in the last 1 hour, residents of Ablekuma Farm Milk, where the incident happened, have been pointing to some bullet holes on shops just some meters away from where I am standing. Now, the residents tell us that the armed men, after robbing the cash-in-transit vehicle at the fuel station, one of the men stood right here in the median strip where I am standing with a gun in one hand, started firing indiscriminately. They tell me that he started firing because he wanted to ward off residents, some of them who were in their shops right on the shoulders of the road, who had seen what was happening just about 70 meters away, right across the street. A man who works in one of the shops here tells me that he was inside and then saw what was happening. Initially, he thought they were filming a movie, so he actually stood and was watching them. But just when one of the men crossed the road, getting the road cleared for his colleagues to join him, he stood here, right here in the median strip, and at a point pointed the gun in his direction. The man I've been speaking to tells me that that was the point he realized that no, the men were not filming a movie, they were not recording a movie, they were not shooting a movie, but were actually robbing the fuel station just some meters away from where I'm standing. We have seen those bullet holes. One of the bullets actually penetrated an ice chest and then penetrated a shop here and then entered another shop. 5 bullet holes we've counted in total from this place. And the residents tell me that the man was firing indiscriminately. He was not firing in the air, he was firing across in all directions. I have one of the residents here who will tell me what he witnessed. We're not going to show his face for security reasons. But you're saying?
If let me John Amankwa.
We say, who said na omu shutu bebre. We say, nipa bakwa mene de kasa ni o say na ontimi nkan empredodo omu o shutu tu.
Tuone de na ne kura nyame anim de beto so na akwa no tuo no nyese bia o de kire soro na emu no a say o kono straight forward nti o de stop cars ni nyina na the way here no so no o mamwo area mo nyina obi a den obi a dwane ye.
Okay. Well, he's saying that the firing was not in the air. He said it wasn't a warning shot. He pointed in their direction. So at that point, all the vehicles using the stretch had to stop.
Nti eyesa no I say obi asuro say oyeben no mo obi say obi ade cause or the kire obi so direct e call run to no call run santi obi wa run bia no e say udwane because we nya one shoot as or the kire oso. Nti the way ekwe no so no na obako so we inside ho a ono so no na say odi machine no e de ye operation e wo ho. Nti dia mbi hu no.
Na mo try me say etu ebuba no efa shops me hu etu ebuba na efa high chest no efa shop bi money ade
say na lotto kiosk bi wo ho madam fu na wo inside nti auto na mframa no na direct call baby a watchera no ewo be fans na call sa container no ekotue container no side ho no eye the oye susu I say mo amani no because to no e call run nti be bia ni pe obia no na say tuo no auto eden efa ho
enti mo amoti area mo asisi a moti ha say nipa bibra me ne omo kaso mo sisi omo suro
on say we mo no ba ne promote nti esa anso a obebohu kakra because em promote na ade ne bai nti esa anso a obebohu sa na me ma dwen kire no
we da say woni e kasa
yo misme da so.
Well, Aisha, so you just had one of the residents here giving us an account of exactly what happened, all that have been narrated in English. He corroborated that in Chi, telling us about the situation here. Many of the people we've been speaking to tell us that they are terrified about the situation and they want the police to do all they can to arrest the perpetrators. They say they are particularly surprised about the brazen manner in which the robbers went about, committed the act. They say the gentleman, one of them who stood here in the median strip was not wearing a mask. And they were shocked how, he was just firing without any regards to the vehicles that were using this stretch, many of them that are parked at a distance, and then the sellers up here. Over to you in the studio, Aisha.
Maxwell Agbagba is our man at the Ablekuma area where the incident happened yesterday. Meanwhile, the Ghana Police Service says it has started a search for a gang of 4 robbers who attacked a Bullion van at Ablekuma Fan Milk, a suburb of Accra. The robbers, according to the police, shot the officer who was providing escort for the van. Away from that, residents of Peacetown near Kaswa are threatening to boycott the 2024 elections as they say the lack of action by city authorities is the cause of the perennial flooding of the community. Torrential rains in the area Wednesday evening cut off the community from the capital and other adjoining communities. Maxwell Agbagba once again reports.
Sounds of gushing water at the cut-off point here at Abamfru.
This is the main road that connects Peacetown to the capital and other adjoining communities. But these men who you see here did not go to work today. Some of them who are taxi drivers here in this community are unable to cross to the other side. Behind me is a stream that overflowed its banks and displaced many from their homes.
Many of the residents here have been forced out of their homes by the flood water. The brave ones were compelled to move door to door, rescuing persons who were trapped. I've met Joseph Kwame Nyako. He helped to rescue some of the affected persons. He says, but for their timely intervention, 10 children would have died in the flood.
I was inside and I saw people shouting, screaming, and say, "Oh, let me come out." Even me, I wanted to go and buy something. And I was okay. I saw them screaming and I said, "Oh, wow." Then I went there to help them and I saw people coming up from their houses and they want to rescue people. So we gathered boys and also helped them to rescue some of the kids, like 10 kids. And doing that rescuing, and we saw a certain woman and the two kids drowning, like coming from, they are in the water coming. So today I heard that they were rescued at this place. So I said, okay, then fine. But people were calling me, How was it? How was it? I was thinking maybe the water sent them away. But today I heard that they are fine. So.
Hundreds of residents are not willing to risk it through this flood water. Many of them who have no choice are compelled to wade through it. I've been speaking to a man who had to carry his sick son behind him to the hospital.
He says the road to his residence is impassable and he couldn't wait for the water to subside before taking his son to the hospital.
Okay, this is your child?
My child.
He's sick?
He's sick.
Okay, so tell us a bit about that.
Because I know this morning before you are going, here be full of. Before I carry go, I go there say body not feel well. When the check coming, so my son is sick, so that's why I go to him.
Okay, but you didn't get any car to get him to cross?
No car. No car.
So that's why you had to carry him on your back?
For
okay. All the taxi drivers in this community who ply these roads to Peace Town and its adjoining communities are idle today. There's no work to be done. I've been speaking to Seth Obin, who is one of them. He's frustrated about the situation.
Yeah, but this is where we live for some time now. But yesterday, what happened was terrible, and we couldn't even to cross the river surf. It's not easy for us. Yesterday, around 9 p.m., it was terrible. People were coming from work and they couldn't problem like yesterday. So we want our MP to come to the area and to come and visit us. Since these problems happened, we haven't seen the MP around, especially the MC. Even if we don't know him, he have to come and take care of the situation so that we know that we have elders somewhere. But there's nothing of sort going on. So please, we are pleading to the authority to come and visit us to solve the problem.
Many of the residents here believe the flooding here persists because of the inaction of city authorities. They are threatening to boycott the 2024 elections. I've been speaking to one of them, Azumi Mahama.
She said, "In soon a year, hanging a drop baton on my salad, tin. In soon a young talk, I see a pono, no monkey to any year. Until I'm a bahapa, a bomb, won't be tuning in, see us up, or be vote."
She says, look at how we have been displaced by the flood. When elections are getting closer, you see politicians trooping here. They should never step here in search of votes. Our children are not able to cross the school. If you are not strong, the water will sweep you away. Our MP does not do anything for us. He shouldn't step here, an angry Azumi Mahama said, with tears in her eyes.
Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin has directed Finance Minister Ken Oforiatta and his colleague Minister Francis Asenso-Boakye to appear before the House and brief MPs on the preparedness to prevent floods with the onset of the rains. Minority Chief Whip Governs Kwame Agboja delivered a statement on the floor calling for urgent action.
Out of the downpour yesterday, areas specifically Botiano, English, from constituency, which belongs to one of our colleagues, got heavily flooded, Mr. Speaker, and as a result, the news reports suggest that a lady and two of her kids are currently missing since yesterday. I take the opportunity to commend the agencies still working to hopefully find them alive. We are also aware that some people are injured and lots of properties have been damaged. Mr. Speaker, we want to take the opportunity to commiserate with our colleague, Honorable Sly Tete, who is a member of parliament from that area. I suspect he's within the area now, trying to do whatever he can do as a member of parliament to help his people. We also understand that areas like parts of Ofankor and Ashalaja, some areas have been cut off completely because of the flooding. And Mr. Speaker, the rains have just started. The Wager Dam is yet even to be spilled. And this calls for this House to probably call upon our respected colleague, the Minister, responsible for Works and Housing, to apprise the House as to what steps he is taking to avert further damage and loss.
I will definitely give the instructions, and the instructions are to the effect that the Minister responsible for works and housing be programmed by the business committee to appear before the House together with the Minister for Finance and to give us a brief on action being taken to make this a thing of the past. And so we expect that latest before the end of next week, these ministers should appear before us. If the substantive minister is not there, there is a minister of state at the Ministry of Finance who could come to represent him. I was informed that the substantive minister is traveled, but in case he's not available, the other minister could come to represent him. Honorable members, this is a very important subject matter, and I believe that one of the ways we could support national leadership to find solution is for us to pass the Budget Act. Why should they be desilting? We should construct structures in such a way that there are no open gutters. We should. The way we are looking at housing as if it's a private venture is wrong. The house you build is not for you. It's for the community. People come in at any time and sleep with you. And so the society has a role led by the state to provide shelter over the heads of people. That is a serious priority. Because after air, water, food, the next thing is what? Shelter. Shelter. But we rather spend a lot of money on useless things.
Let's stay in Parliament because the Speaker, Alban Bagman, has been firing salvos at government, demanding an immediate removal of taxes on sanitary pads. There's been a rise in calls on the government to remove the taxes, with protesters picketing Parliament and making similar demands.
We had a group picketing outside, and I invited the leadership, and the issue they raised was a very serious issue. My attention was drawn to it already. Why should we, as members, honorable member, why should we pass a law imposing tax on sanitary pads? This is unconscionable. It's a cardinal sin. The House shouldn't have allowed it at all. This House shouldn't have allowed it. You know the impact of that law on the human resource development and on the development of this country. It's immeasurable. That is why I suspended sitting and had to attend to them. I have a copy of the petition, and we have to take immediate action to prevent whoever is the minister proposing that thing to take it off. The next budget, it must not appear, it cannot be a tax. Please, I take a very serious view on this matter. It was even raised at a forum in Tamale. Why?
Well, the Association of Ghana Industries is against the removal of taxes on imported sanitary pads. According to the AGI, eliminating taxes on imported sanitary pads would either collapse the remaining factories or force them to transition into mere importers. In a signed statement, the Chief Executive Officer of the AGI argued that waivers to imports, the government should provide the necessary incentives and support to enable local companies to meet domestic demand.
We understand our women folks. We also have women, we have wives, we have children, we have daughters. and we have mothers. So we really sympathize with them. We are not in any way against the agitation that people are making. We actually support the call for lower pricing of sanitary pads so that the women folks can have access to it. Except that we thought that they probably could have joined us in this advocacy, or we should also join them in this advocacy, but take it on a slightly different route. I think the only difference we are seeing here is the fact that we have local producers of sanitary pads. Okay, we have people who have invested in this, and they are employing our own women. They are employing Ghanaians. They are employing our own women. Now, if we say that we want to remove taxes, we are not saying no to that, but we think that we can achieve the same objective, and the objective is clear: get the sanitary pads at lower prices so our women can buy it. That objective, we support it. But how do you get there? How do you get the prices lowered? There are two sources of these products on the market: local production and then imported. They are being a bit general and saying remove taxes. We are only saying that if you want to remove taxes, then target local production, the taxes on local production. When the local producer brings the wood pulp, which is the raw material for producing the sanitary pads, they pay duty on it. They pay VAT. So if you pay all these taxes, it makes the local production cost also quite high. One of the major companies, for example, produces below up to just about 30% of their capacity now because of the market conditions. So if you ask them to increase production and you create conditions for them to do so, they can double or triple production within the shortest possible time.
Well, activist Amma Pratt has joined us live. She was part of those who picketed for the waiver to be on import of pads. She joins us live for more. Amma, so the AGI says that giving a waiver to imported parts would cripple local manufacturers, and they say that instead of that, government should rather give incentives to the local manufacturers to actually achieve the same cost. You agree? Hello, Amma.
Hello.
Yes, Amma, can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, I can.
Okay, so the AGI is arguing that rather than government giving those waivers to the parts that will be imported, that those waivers should be given to the local manufacturers of parts so that we can achieve the same cost. You agree?
I mean, it is a problematic stance to take. You know, it's a very problematic stance to take because in the meantime, while we wait for this to happen, are we saying that Ghanaian women cease to menstruate, you know, as we wait for the big policy changes and the big things to happen? No. Ghanaian women continue to menstruate every day. Every day. And I agree that there are conversations that we need to have, like big conversations that we need to have, you know, as a people, you know, policy dimension, you know, the big ideological conversation, socialism or capitalism, you know. So yes, there are conversations to be had. Should we have policies centered around people, or should people sort of maneuver and contort themselves in a way that favors the policies that we have? I say people first. I say people are the center of the policies that we make. I say let's take care of our vulnerable. And in this instance, let's take care of our women and our girls first. So how about all of us agreeing that we take the taxes off right now so women can menstruate with dignity? And then as we progress, we can have the big conversations about, you know, where to reduce taxes, where to subsidize, and all of these laudable things. And I agree with him, you know, on a lot of the things that he says. But those are long-term, you know, conversations that need to be had. We are talking about right now. That girl somewhere that cannot go to school because when she menstruates, she doesn't know how to manage herself. That's the conversation we are having.
But you also agree that those waivers, because he says there's already a waiver on the parts that are being imported into the country, plus other products which they're already battling with. So you actually agree that local manufacturers will struggle if we continue to give them the waivers?
I mean, every industry could do with tax waivers. No, every industry could do with tax waivers. Every industry could do with subsidies. All of us, in private business would jump for joy if this should happen. Globally, and I even refuse to situate this conversation just here in Ghana. Globally, just for the avoidance of doubt, just so that we are not accused of wanting to make capital or whatever. Let's all agree that globally the world is suffering, right? Let's agree that globally big conversations need to be had. Again, I'm back to this thing about policies and why it's important to center politics with people at the heart of these politics. So yes, definitely, I agree that industry, local industry would benefit from tax waivers, would benefit from subsidies, would benefit from all of the government interventions that are necessary to grow our local economies. And that's just not about sanitary parts and that sector. So to that extent, I agree with him. But to the extent that right now, today, as we speak, the taxes that have been imposed within the last 6 months make it virtually impossible for women and girls in this country to menstruate with dignity, then, we are not having the same conversation. Let us agree as a people on what's important. Menstruation goes to the heart of our reproduction, the continuity of humanity. So let's agree on some basics. Let's agree that this one fits. Then we.
So that's Ama Pratt. She's Executive Director of Obesima Summit. She's one of the people who picketed at Parliament to call on Parliament to impress upon government to reduce those taxes on imported sanitary pads. And on your election headquarters, the governing NPP has less than 48 hours to close its nominations for the flag bearer race, with 9 candidates filing nominations so far, including Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Alan Chermantain, and Dr. Efria Akoto. The party is expected to close nominations tomorrow, but 2 more aspirants, Joe Gatti and Opon Odenehun, are yet to file their nominations. The latest to successfully enter into the race is former MP for Mampong, Francis Adainimo. We can go live and speak with my colleague Samuel Mbora for details. Samuel, can you run us through those who have filed their nominations so far?
Right, Aisha, we have 9, as you indicated. First was the former Trade and Industry Minister, Kojo Alan Chermantain, followed by Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the Vice President. The third being Dr. Efria Akoto, the former Agric Minister. We also had the former Energy Minister, Mr. Boache Jaku. Professor Kofi Konedu Apreko also has filed his nomination successfully. We had former General Secretary of the party, Kobina Ejapon, also filing his nomination. Kennedy Ejapon, the Asin Central MP, has also successfully filed his nomination. And Kojo Poku also had his turn to file his nomination. The latest to file, as you indicated earlier, is the former MP for Mampong, Mr. Adai Nimo. 2 are still outstanding. Joe Gatti, whom we know is the former Minister for Railway Development, and one Opon Odenehun. I'm told he worked at the presidency in the transport department. So the 2 are outstanding, and the NPP is expected to close nominations tomorrow. But I'm fortunate to have the Director of Elections, Mr. Evans Nimako, joining me for this conversation. Thank you very much for joining us on Joy News, Mr. Nimako. How would you describe the process so far?
Thank you, and my pleasure. So far, the New Patriotic Party is pleased with the processes so far, since nomination was opened last month, 26th. Hopefully tomorrow, nomination will be closed. As you've already indicated, we are expecting that the remaining 2 gentlemen, who have been bold to pick up nomination forms will file aside. And then the Okwe committee will invite them from next month 3rd to 6th for vetting.
So have you had any indication that they will really come to file, or maybe there are some conversations back there to just end it from here?
Well, I'm not aware of any conversation behind the scenes. All that I'm aware of is that tomorrow the nomination will come to an end. We are hoping that all those who pick nomination forms, apart from the 9, the remaining 2, will also be able to submit their nomination forms.
Is there any indication of a possible extension of the closing date for the nominations?
It doesn't lie in anybody's mouth but the National Council and National Executive Committee. As of now, there isn't going to be any meeting either today or tomorrow morning to decide for an extension. So hopefully a nomination will end. And if you look at our constitution, it's stipulated that nomination will be done within a month. And that is what we are going by. You remember not too long ago, the General Secretary issued a statement, and that has to do with the postponement of the vetting. So in terms of opening and closing of nomination, there hasn't been any arrangement to extend. So we are going by the tomorrow's deadline, and we'll go by it.
All right, so I know all the aspirants who have appeared before you have been given some guidelines. What were the guidelines so far as their campaigns are concerned?
Well, they were to be guided by the rules and regulations in the nomination forms they procure, as well as the party's constitution and the national constitution. I mean, those are things they've put down for us. They must satisfy the committee with their information concerning their CVs, their places of work, schools attended, and their vision and mission for Ghana. And they must also show, as long as they want the party to sponsor them into the election 2024, their contributions to the party. So these are areas that they were expected to operate within. That is why you realize that at the close of every session, they are given a copy of the party's constitution to guide them, even ahead of the vetting. We hope that these are senior party members. They will comport themselves in a manner that will not infringe upon the party's constitution. So, so far, I will say that the Okwe committee is yet to set and set the rules of engagement. When they appear before them during the vetting, the discussion will take the necessary steps it has to.
Are you saying that the elections committee of the party so far is satisfied with the conduct of the aspirants so far?
The committee has not issued any statement to that effect. The committee is yet to sit. Interrogation as to the conduct of the candidate will be done during the vetting period. And so for now, let us not preempt so much. We are hoping that as loyal party members who have gathered the courage to procure party forms, participate in the contest, which is going to be fair, free and transparent. At the end of the exercise, we are all going to come together under the new patriotic party elephant to prosecute the election 2024. And hopefully the new patriotic party presidential candidate is going to be the next president after His Excellency Nana.
Mr. Nimako, before I let you go, how are you able to manage this election process with what is currently happening at
We're still live on Joy News today, and we're coming to you live from our studios in Kokom, namely on the Fanofa Street. Let's take a break. When we return, there's business.
Hello, good afternoon. Warm welcome to the business segment on Joy News today with me, Pius Kojo-Baka. About 3,000 business owners have received training on how to augment their business outlook using social media tools as well as good customer experience knowledge through MTN Ghana's 21 Days Yellow Care. Here is more.
In line with this year's theme, empowering entrepreneurs to unlock growth and job creation for communities, MTN organized an exhibition and training session for some startups to climax the initiative. Speaking to Joy Business, Chief Corporate Service and Sustainability Officer at MTN, Adjoa Efriye Wiafe, says their target has been met.
We plan to reach 3,000 people, and we have reached 3,000 people all across the country. So women, youth, differently abled, 3,000 of them, local artisans, grassroots entrepreneurs. That's the whole purpose of Yellow Care, to reach out to those who are underprivileged, who do not have access to the internet or to social media, to let them know how they can access social media and how they can use that or leverage on that to build their businesses, to scale up, to move their businesses to the next level. So that was the purpose, and we think that we have achieved that.
She assured that her outfit will continuously monitor the progress of beneficiaries to maximize the gains of the program.
After this, we will follow up with some of them to see how well they are doing. We want to learn some lessons from what we've done and to keep improving upon the program and to use the lessons we learn for next year. We also have an enterprise support program which is aimed at supporting local businesses to be able to grow their businesses. So we started this year. It's going to run for a period of 5 years. We are going to work with 100 local entrepreneurs, grassroots entrepreneurs, and then help them to develop their products and to market their products.
Some of the beneficiaries have been speaking to our news team.
A lot of networking and a bit of sales. And then the MCN people too, they are training us a lot on marketing, packaging and all that. I will be able to market our products very well, especially on social media. We are really learning a lot. So I want to say thank you to MTN. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity.
Someone just came to us and was even talking about wanting to know more and if there are any investment opportunities. So it is a great platform for me as a budding entrepreneur.
MTN Yellow Care program is an employee volunteerism initiative designed to engage the staff in high-impact social projects within their communities.
Now, the Institute of ICT Professionals Ghana is calling for more dialogue to bridge the gap between academia and industry. The institute says information technology can be leveraged to explore various opportunities for young entrepreneurs. Chief Director David Gowu said adopting innovative entrepreneurship programs will increase employment. He spoke at the 3rd edition of the Tech Entrepreneurs Forum.
The forum was organized by the Institute of ICT Professionals Ghana in collaboration with the Air Force Foundation and other supporting partners. According to David Gowu, more engagement is needed to help these young entrepreneurs.
We're happy to have the 3rd Tech Entrepreneurs Forum, a forum that is designed to bring together small startups or startups that are in the tech space, give them a platform so they can showcase some of the innovative applications that they've developed and how these applications can help businesses. So the first Tech Entrepreneurs Forum that we started 2019, and then we had a break because of COVID, and then we came back 2022. We had a second Tech Entrepreneurs Forum, and we are really excited about today's event.
Project manager at Air Force Foundation, Hannah Schleman, was optimistic these young entrepreneurs within the tech space would aid in the transformation of the economy.
We facilitate the collaboration and the contact between the young students and graduates who have gone through the DigiCap program and have become junior consultants. So they consult small businesses in their digitalization processes. So we facilitate that contact between the young ones and then the companies, the industry, the employers, basically.
Executive Director for the National Service Scheme, Osei Asibenchi, outlined some initiatives his outfit is rolling out to support these young entrepreneurs.
National Service now is creating the pathway in the area of ICT. First, we were only deploying people to go to other places, but now we deploy people to hubs where those that they've learned, especially in the area of ICT, we deploy them, get consultants to reshape them for them to be able to create jobs on their own.
And that's all for Business on Joy News today with me, Pius Kojo Baka. Darokwa will be here at 1 p.m. with the Marketplace. Sports is next.
Let's do sports now. On Joy News today with me, Muftau Nabila Abla, head coach of the Black Meteors. Ibrahim Tanko says the ultimate goal of his team is to qualify to the Olympic Games to be staged in Paris next year. Speaking to the Ghana Football Association media ahead of his team's opening game in the Under-20 African Cup of Nations against Congo, Tanko reckons his boys will have a good start to the campaign. On Sunday, Ghanaian footballers will be honored for their contribution to the sport. The Minister of Youth and Sports, Mustafa Yusuf, says that it is very important that athletes are awarded for their contribution to the development of football in Ghana.
In fact, the Ghana Football Award have done so well. Personally, I've been involved in the last 2 years. I was there to support the organizers to give the award, and I did so because I think that our footballers, both those of them who are here and those who are abroad, have to be motivated, and the only way we can do so is to also recognize their performance, just like the organizers are doing. So I want to congratulate the organizers for this initiative, for putting up this award together. Even though I'm told that it's about 5 years old now, the award, you've done so well. The ministry and the government is ready to support your event going forward, to ensure that at least whatever we can do, not only the award day, but before the award, we are able to do certain events that will promote and bring ideas together, even like a football summit where we can share ideas and be able to contribute our part to the development of the game we all love. It will be something that I'm looking forward to. I've had discussion with organizers, and going forward, I'm going to be key partner to this award.
The awards will be happening on Sunday, and it will be live on the Joy Prime channel. This is our wrap-up sports here with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullah. Up next is Showbiz.
Welcome back, and time now for the latest update in Showbiz. My name is KMJ. Winner of the maiden edition of the Big Brother Titans, Kosi, has stated emphatically she will not make a decision of enhancing her part of body as a woman. She spoke on Showbiz now, and she elaborated exactly the reason why she intends never to go on that tangent. Well, this part of my body, I think I can enhance it a bit to look some way. And right now I have $100,000. Why not? Let me just kick it in. Do you have that intention?
Honestly, I don't yet, because honestly, I don't think I've ever thought about that about my money. When I think about my money, I'm thinking about Good Deeds, which is my charity organization, and what I would like to do with it. At some point, I really wanted the entire money to just be donated to Good Deeds and see what we could do better. Because I really wanted, because, right now we're helping, with extreme poverty, so we try to assist there and there, but what I really want to do is community development. So bring sustainable development in communities across Africa. That is the goal. So that was my main idea when it comes to the money. Like, I really wanted to be invested in I never thought about, there'll be few people approaching me. I don't even have to pay for things like that. I've had companies in Turkey, approaching me and stuff like that. But I'm all about health and fitness. So I would never, encourage such a thing. And if I believe that you can go to the gym and fix a few things, then I should be a role model for it.
So you don't blame those who intend or do that at all?
No. I would never judge, because people come across or face different circumstances, so it wouldn't be fair for me to judge.
And with the growing concerns about women becoming their own enemies in the fight to empower each other, Kosi shared a take on the issue by stating that women feel threatened by other women. The reality star asserted that even though some women believe in empowering others to be great, there's always a problem when the one woman that is empowered seems to be doing better than the one that empowered her. Here is what she said on Prime Morning.
Yeah.
How do you look at that picture?
You know, when it comes to women and the type of behavior that, and it's the sad part is just, I don't know, it just comes natural. You know, I don't know, I don't think maybe it takes a specific type of person or it makes you the ugliest person to be like that. But I think it's just a matter of unlearning the culture because it's so normal. It feels that we were born with it. You know, women feel threatened by other women. And it's just so sad. And when people talk about women empowerment, because you would even see the women who preaching women empowerment being the one also having issues in such areas, right? They would want to empower women, but they wouldn't want them to be better than them.
And that's Kosi, the winner of Big Brother Titans, who visited Ghana a couple of days ago. That will be all for Showbiz here on the news. My name is KMJ. Stay tuned.
And as I wrap up the bulletin this afternoon, my name is Aisha Ibrahim. Log on to myjoyonline.com. There's more of the news and updates of all the developing stories. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.